On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oaks, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oaks.
You guys get to get the smooth Australian back again for another episode. Aaron Hendra in the studio again.
What's up?
Zach, Matt.
How's it going?
Hello, hello.
Matt back there acting like he's working and doesn't want to talk at all ever anymore.
That's right.
I'm a busy man.
He's got to juggle all those cameras.
Yeah.
He is live switching as we do this. That is a thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's just making that up.
I'm very talented.
Yeah.
I know he's got hot sports opinions. I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah, and usually you hold it off for the rest of us, and we appreciate that,
Sure.
I guess. Yeah.
I couldn't. There's no way I could do all the camera switching stuff and watching all of that and have any thoughts outside of that at all because I would my mind is not very. I can't do all that.
Right. On top of that, we're great storytellers, and it's hard to not pay attention to what we're doing. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not good at that at all. I'm just not. I can do I get zoned in on something and I got to go at it. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Be in other areas.
Well,
my mind doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I'm like a squirrel. I bounce from thing to thing, but I'm not gonna do all of them at once.
Multitask hasn't multitasking been debunked?
It really has been,
Yeah,
because a lot of brain science and stuff says it's absolutely impossible, really,
you end up doing lots of things not very well.
Yep, and it's actually, people go, well, I multitask, where you can technically, on surface, look like that's doing, but you're not really going to take any of it in and do any of it right. Like, it's right. There's a lot of brain science around that.
I'm a freak of nature, then.
You do everything well, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
not all of us are that lucky, Matt. Okay.
Tell me about it.
Did he say I'm killing it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Making it happen. Well, our first story for today's show.
This one is just got to get us off on a good little.
It's something. Yeah, I'm curious to see.
I thought this was. I honestly, when I saw it, I thought this has to be made up.
Yes.
This has to be fake news.
From MSN. This bride canceled her wedding after guests refused to pay her $1,500 attendance fee.
This is real. This
came up in a Facebook rant. That's where this picked up steam. She made a big post about this. A Canadian woman, only known as Susan, attempted to circumvent all of her wedding costs by asking her friends and family to pay up to attend her wedding. She was asking for upwards of $1,500 per guest to come to the wedding, and that would help pay for the cost of her dream wedding, which was estimated to be about $60,000 Canadian. That's 46 grand here for her dream wedding, and she was appalled that people would not pay for this. She's got a whole diatribe on here.
Because she sent the invites out with the $1,500 tab on it. So to send back and say they're coming, they had to send the $1,500.
Oh sure.
And nobody RSVP'd.
She said only 8 guests RSVP'd, which, by the way, who were those 8 people? Because they are the greatest friends in the world.
That had to be the grandma, grandpa. So, you know what I mean?
Even then, good Lord. And she's got this profanity-laced rant. She goes on. She says, I just wanted to be a Kardashian for a day and then live my life like normal.
Then she posted all this on Facebook.
Of course.
You think she had lawnmower parents? Man.
Helicopter, lawnmower, you name it. All of them combined, I believe.
She said, we just needed a little push. All we asked was for a little help from our friends and family to make it happen.
And she ranted on Facebook about how appalling that nobody would do this. Like, honest to God, the woman thought people were going to have sympathy for her.
I try to find the silver linings and things. I really do. But this one's rough. Like, this is a bumpy story from start to finish. Go ahead. That's
the lawnmower parent raised. That's the, like...
It's mind-boggling.
It's not like she asked everybody for $50, which, if you ask people $50 to come to your wedding, I think is absurd still, because it's your wedding. Like, you want people paid. It's not like you're
the host of the party.
It's like, if Aaron has a music show and there's a ticket process, that's an entertaining show that you're going to pay for. The wedding is not the same.
Yeah.
$1,500 per person.
I like that she thought she'd get some. She clearly posted it on Facebook
Yes.
thinking she'd get some support,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
People were going to say, "Oh yeah, how terrible
Well,
that you had to cancel your wedding."
She had to have the false sense of that because she actually asked for $1,500 a person, so she was already.
Yeah.
You could tell she's already like not logical.
What a skewed perception of life
Yeah.
and how things work.
Yeah, that's so true. That is
I
so
mean,
true.
how could you be that wrong?
Yes, that.
I think it's
how do you have no self-awareness like that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, yeah. How can you be that wrong?
Yeah.
I think it's a good reminder that your wants are not my problem, or something. That just because you want to have a nice wedding, too bad. Like that's not the world's not necessarily going to give it to you, no matter how bad you want it.
She's got this great line in here. It says, realizing they wouldn't be able to afford their dream wedding, Susan's fiancé suggested tying the knot in Las Vegas. The bride quickly shut down the idea, asking, and I love this, am I supposed to get married in the heart of shady gamblers, alcoholics, and the get-rich-fast fallacy? She's talking about the get-rich-fast fallacy. What are you doing? You trying to throw a $60,000 wedding on somebody else's dime.
She never got married, and she's not engaged anymore. By the way,
Yeah.
it was the guy. I don't know how he got that far into it with
dodge that bullet, man.
Yeah,
Well done. Oh, man.
I kind of thought of, a lot of times people think they'll look at people successful, and they see the success they're at, right? But they weren't there part of the beginning, and I always say, look, every single paved road of success started with a dirt road of potholes, and somebody had a bucket, 5-gallon bucket of some asphalt and a little shovel, and they were filling one little hole in at a time until they got enough of it filled in to where actual, kind of a concrete roller could actually get onto it to then actually start rolling it out to where then the bigger machinery get to come in for the paved road to get there. And I talk about it all the time in our industry because I'll talk to people and when I'm talking to somebody coming in, I go, I know it's harder for them because they see me now, and I'm like, I didn't have these suits when I started. I didn't have all of this stuff that I had now. And, it's like you don't get here. This 12 years later. This wasn't yesterday. This didn't happen overnight. And I think that's what a lot of people do is they forget that, there's a long road of things. You don't just get to say, oh, I want to have the Kardashian wedding. I deserve it. And pay $1,500 come to my wedding. Like, that's just not real.
I mean, let's be clear, you already got to pony up to go to a wedding. You got to have an outfit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to get a gift. You got to travel, usually. Like, there's already something to that. There's already a little bit of a financial obligation that people have to overcome. Sometimes people can't.
But, Aaron, what you said is right. It's this, how do people have these skewed looks of life? And how can somebody that has that really get a hold of it to realize and change it? Because we were the opposite. On our wedding, we did everything in our power to make sure people did not have to come out of pocket. It was as easy as possible. We didn't do bridesmaids or grooms.
Oh, wow.
We did a best man and maid of honor. We paid for both of their outfits because I was broke having to go to weddings and be in them before and having to pay for the stuff. And remember, I don't want anybody to go, it's not that I'm judging the people I was in. I just know, like, at this time I was better well off, and so I was like, I want to pay for it because I don't want anybody to be put out for my wedding.
That's typical
How
millennial.
my mindset and hers can be so different is beyond me.
Yeah. It's frightening how people can be so confident and so wrong at the same time.
That's true.
You know
So
what I mean?
confident and so wrong. That is true.
But again, I think it's a product of the world, like the social media driven world that we live in. I mean, she obviously idolizes the Kardashians and their reality life and thinks she deserves that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how it can be. I don't think it can ever be undone because it's out there now. You know what I mean? And there's this entitled vibe that's in the world with a lot of kids growing up. Not all of them, because there's great kids that, again, it's your upbringing. You know what I mean? But
Have you ever had those moments and you look back and realize, man, I was very confident and wrong in that, and look back on it now and realize that? Or what did you do to kind of gain like the self-awareness to I think I always tell people if God told me I could create, I was going to be able to create my child, right? And I could pick one trait to give them, I would pick self-awareness would be the one trait I would give my kid. Because I believe with self-awareness, you can do anything. Because if you are self-aware that you're in the wrong, or if you're self-aware you're in the right, if you can be self-aware, you can develop those other traits that are real, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you're a very self-aware guy as well. And so, but I don't know if I know how to teach somebody that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was, the loudest person in the room. That was never me.
Yeah.
I was the opposite of that.
I was pretty much the loudest person in the room.
Yeah.
Go figure, right? Nobody would guess that.
Yeah, so I just, for me, it always shocks me how people are so confident, so loud and obnoxious.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, and now tell me, I mean, you can tell me if you disagree or not. I don't think confident and loud and obnoxious are the same thing. I think arrogance goes with that, but I think confidence is a good thing. Arrogance, I think, is over the line. I mean, would you disagree? Do you disagree?
It's misplaced. It's false confidence I'm talking about.
Okay,
I'm not talking about confidence based on
real
good
stuff.
qualities
Yeah.
and good traits. It's arrogance. It's not a good thing.
If you're somebody that I wonder how we can help people that are arrogant understand they're arrogant.
I think they just need to fall down and be humbled.
Yeah.
You
Go
know
to the
what I mean?
construction job and suck it up and do it.
Yeah. And maybe a little bit later on down the track, they'll realize how stupid they were.
Yep.
And feel a bit embarrassed and learn.
It happened to me when I started my career. My first basic, my first couple months was rough, but then for the next 8, 9, 10, 12 months was like a fierce rocket up of just money and stuff that I never thought I would ever make in my life. I was 19. And instead of being intelligent and saving money aside, I blew every penny. I had the $60,000 truck, the $20,000 ATV, you name it, I blew it. I was the king of all of it. I just blew all of that. And then guess what? Everything went to hell in the handbasket in my business, and I had to get rid of everything. I was the kid that was put up that did good, and then I had to sell all that stuff, moving back in a little bitty apartment, one room little deal, trying to get my feet back on water and start all over, drive an old beat up car again, and humble myself to be willing to go through that again instead of just giving it up. And it was the best thing to happen, because I believe I would have been arrogant. I would have been an arrogant, pompous person if it wasn't for that. I really do. I think I've always been that person that could be on the line, but that experience humbled me, that if I would have sat there and had a longer, I think God knew he needed to humble me. I think he knew that at that point, if he continued giving me what I had, I wasn't going to handle it well. Luckily, he only let me have a small window of that and humbled me real fast. Yeah. And I learned that. I was only 19. I didn't know anything. I thought I did, but I didn't. But look, you've got to be able to be humbled. You can't be an arrogant person. You can't be entitled with people that expect them to do it. You can't expect things to come your way and they just happen. You've got to go create it, like you said on the last episode, Aaron, was you got to go create those dreams to happen. You got to go make those things happen yourself, and sitting back and just thinking that you're expected and entitled to have those things will not put you in that mode. Arrogance is not a cool trait. Arrogance is not sexy. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's not. I've never known anybody who goes, oh, I love arrogant people. There's nobody that does.
Yeah, I was just thinking, in some senses in the pop world, it's rewarded. Like if you look at some of the music genres, I'm not going to single them out, but you look at some of the music videos and the lyrics in some of those songs, that's some arrogant lyrics. You know what I mean? I would never write that sort of stuff, because I always come from a more kind of humble place or whatever, but it is rewarded in some ways, and maybe that's skewing, like kids coming up, to that arrogance is cool. I am the greatest. No one's greater than me.
Arrogance isn't long lasting, though.
Yeah.
It can have its flashes in the pan, but it doesn't long last. Being confident and humble, that is long lasting.
No, I
tried
totally
and true,
agree.
and you'll attract the right people that care about you, that'll be there when you got to sell everything you got. They're still going to be there next to your side.
Totally
so
agree.
On the way to the next one, all I'm going to say is all I expect is $2,000 from everybody to send to the show to Second Shot for all of the glorious wisdom we give back. Only $2,000. That's it. No big deal.
It's a bargain.
And I expect it deposited into a check. Send it to secondshotcast@gmail.com. No big deal. And
I'll talk about you on the show, maybe.
We don't, Heath. We got good fans, man. Don't tell people that. Somebody might actually go for that. Like somebody might. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll expect that on the second segment of Second Shot coming back up.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to EnergyOgre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about, is this the real deal, and go do it right now. EnergyOgre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
You know, Zach and Matt, I should have told y'all. I should have invited y'all out like a couple Saturdays ago. We went out 4 Seasons where Aaron was playing, and I should have told you guys to come because that was fun, man. That was like Aaron was playing out at 4 Seasons in Las Colinas, and
thanks for coming out,
the
man.
weather was perfect, man. It was an outdoor deal.
Yeah.
It was like just enough breeze to cool it off, and just big group of good people hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, listening to some music. You know,
Yeah, that guy, he's all right.
He's not so bad, I guess. Yeah, you should throw us an
I
invite
should have
next
told.
time.
Yeah,
I'll do
next
that.
time. Time I will. Yeah,
I'll come out to that.
yeah.
Well, speaking of next time, second segment, next
Boom.
article. What a segue, man!
Wow.
Practiced.
You know,
I've been
I
doing this for years.
But here's the thing: is if we do the good segues, we always like mention it, and it's like it doesn't make it as smooth. You know what I mean?
It's not as good.
It's like we shouldn't mention it, so it like it
Right.
looks cool.
Yeah, it
but
sounds
it
a lot-
doesn't when we all go, "Oh wow, we did something good!
What a segue!
We
Yeah.
nailed it!"
Well, that's
$1,500, please.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. No, 2,000.
Send in
We're
2,000.
we're
Okay.
worth more than her wedding.
It's the key to a humble segue. This comes from an email from a listener, and I want to get to that. This came from Jeff Rouleau.
You want to go and read his email too with it?
I was going to say, should I read the article then the email?
kind of whichever way you think.
Let's do that. Jeff wrote this in. He sent us this article. He's got opinions. I want to read the article, then his opinion, then let's talk. Yeah.
Jeff won a hat.
So he did, last week. So Tarboro child punished for calling teacher ma'am. Teresa Wilson said she noticed something was wrong Tuesday when her 10-year-old son Tamarian, I think, got off the school bus from Northeast Carolina Preparatory School. Northeast Carolina. I asked him what happened. He said he got in trouble for saying, yes, ma'am. He says his teacher told him to write the word on the sheet because he kept referring to her as ma'am, despite her instruction not to. She gave him a sheet, said you got to write ma'am front and back all over. You remember, right on the chalkboard, that kind of thing? Yeah, I had to do stuff like that. As part of his punishment, Tamarian had to have the paper signed by a parent. Wilson and Bryant, the parents, said their children were taught to refer to elders as ma'am and sir, and that Tamarian was not intending to be disrespectful. Now, this article doesn't say exactly why the teacher had a problem with it. If I had to guess, it was probably something simple like, I'd rather you call me Mrs. or instead of ma'am or what have you, and maybe she just said, Kate.
Well, no,
I don't know.
There's a group of people that really don't like ma'am and sir and find it.
I didn't know that, so
Yeah.
I'm interested in digging into that. But Jeff's opinions, he said he stumbled across this. He said, I realize this is just one instance, and you may be able to chalk it up to a teacher having a bad day, but there are people out there that don't want to be called ma'am or sir.
Yeah.
He said, in and out of the workplace, I, Jeff, use ma'am and sir daily in casual conversation. Yeah, yes are acceptable. But if someone addresses me personally for response, I feel a more respectful reply is better. I use these nouns for people older and younger than me and for senior leaders and subordinates. I try to pay the same level of respect to everyone. To date, I've never been asked not to use these terms for anybody. We want society to be more polite and respectful. We want the younger generations to carry a torch and do the same. Is being respectful somehow becoming disrespectful? In the meantime, I'm going to stay on the path and continue to teach my boys to use ma'am and sir when addressing their elders. Have a great week, Jeff. So there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Jeff's opinion. What do you think of the article first? Let's start there.
I mean, I was raised ma'am and sir.
Yeah.
And like, if my mom asked a question and I said, yeah, my dad gave that death stare that any dad gives, and the kid knows you're like, it's like, yeah, what? You say it one more time, I dare you.
Say that one more
The
again.
backhand that you're going to get is not going to be pretty. So I learned quick as a kid. There was no way I ever responded to anybody without yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I mean, that's as ingrained in me as it is. And I don't care if they're younger than me, older than me now. Even as an adult, I still say ma'am and sir. I mean, I was raised that was respectful. What about you?
Well, we didn't say ma'am in Australia. There's no ma'am. But to me, it's like political correctness gone too far, way too far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In the opposite way almost.
Even in the opposite way.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's stupid. It's if the intention is clear
that it's respect.
It's respectful, and then that's shunned. That's stupid.
Well, because it goes. Well, was there something similar in Australia besides ma'am and sir that may have been something you were taught like is respect that maybe like coming over here we wouldn't know what it is?
Australia is a very disrespectful.
Okay.
So
yeah. Like opening the door, closing the door for people type thing. Was that kind
there's
of
manners? There's manners, but Mrs. maybe Mrs.
Yeah. Okay.
Mrs. Yeah, I don't know.
Ma'am, sir, and all that's a bigger Southern culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And until I got out of where I'm from and I was like in Florida and all that, it was the first time that I was ever told by somebody, "Don't call me ma'am or sir."
Really?
And I was here. It wasn't. They weren't as angry about it. It's just that I was a 23-year-old kid and this person worked for me and was much older, and so when I would call her ma'am, I think she like it.
She didn't want to be made to feel older.
Yes.
She wanted to feel young.
Yes. It was more of a, because I was, and I think I've gotten that a lot because of being so young, and I always refer to people as that. I don't care if they work for me or not. You know, like I don't think you're below me because you work for me. You know, I don't look at it that way. That's what I do. And so that was the first time I was ever told that. But I also have enough respect to respect her wishes.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I had enough respect to respect her wishes, and I told her, I said, look, I will try, but understand it's a habit of 23 years in me that it's still probably going to come out. But because I respect her wishes. I mean, look, she was a later in life trying to make a second start at a career, and 23-year-old, and I'm calling her ma'am. I think it hurt her confidence.
I can relate to that, and that's second shot.
Yeah,
looking at a different way.
Yeah,
I don't like being called sir.
Yeah. Because
I'm in the music business, like rock and roll, and it's like eternal youth and all that sort of stuff. I don't like when people call me sir because it does make me feel old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I can kind of get that.
That's whether I agree with.
I wouldn't be offended by it.
Yes.
But I'd be like, don't call me sir, call me man or brother. I mean, we call each other brother or whatever, and that's... feels more.
And if a sir still slipped out at you, you're not getting mad about it and making me punish. Right. You know, that's the difference where I think in the story. Because like that lady who had asked me that one time, I mean, I respected her wishes because I did understand that she was already lost confidence of trying to make a second start later in her life, and if that triggered that, I didn't want that to happen to her,
Right, but that's a unique situation. This is a 10-year-old talking to a teacher. You're supposed to respect your teachers. Like ma'am and sir is coming from a 10-year-old. That's coming from a place of respect.
Is correct.
Yeah,
it's correct.
And like maybe I'm reading off a piece of paper.
That's got to be a teacher though with an agenda, because I can't imagine being a teacher and a 10-year-old saying ma'am or sir and them really getting so offended and mad. You know what I mean? That teacher obviously has an axe to grind with something.
Agenda's the right word.
Yeah, I think there is. It has to be.
Well, again, I'm reading off a piece of paper. We're hearing one side of the story. These could be lawnmower parents for all I know. This could be a total farce. Like maybe there's more to this story.
Right.
But it's just odd that like a culture seems to have adopted these terms to be polite, to be respectful.
It's very clear. There is no like synonym of that being a disrespectful thing. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody. I don't know anybody that has another take on ma'am and sir that is disrespectful.
Right. And if you want to be a little bit more casual and you want to say, hey, please, like the woman did with you, hey, please don't call me that, that's fine. But then you got to be ready for the fallout with that, which is, okay, that's cool. I've been saying that for 23 years. Give me a minute. Like, it's going to take me a while to reset my brain and not say that anymore, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, and like that's the best approach. The idea of getting really, really pretty steamed about it, I guess, enough to make a kid write it on a sheet a billion times. Like, it's just odd.
So, Heath, I'm curious, because this also comes down to a parenting issue where when the kid came back and said, hey, my teacher got on to me for this, I had to write this out, I have to get it signed, she raised a stink about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if there's another way to react to that, which is to say, look, I understand, I want you to be respectful, but if your teacher is asking you to please not call them a certain thing, you should do what they say. Is there a teaching moment in there that's a little bit more nuanced than just going to the principal and saying, I can't believe what this teacher did?
I want to make this very clear. I believe that ma'am and sir is respectful, and to this day I say ma'am and sir, and I always will. I don't care if they're older or younger than me. That is what I was taught was respect, and that's I respect other people's opinions though, and I respect other people's kind of wishes in the work world. Now, if this happened, I would I never want to set an example to my kid that I do anything emotional and off the handle and go throw fits. I don't think throwing fits in general is good. I would absolutely request to sit down with that teacher to just find out if there was something more to that story. Like, was there something else done, or what's the teacher's deal? Was something else said, done? I don't know. And let the teacher know that ma'am and sir is what I teach my kid, because and my child will say ma'am and sir. I mean, Brighton will be ingrained in her to be ma'am and sir, because that's. I think it is respectful to adults as a kid to say ma'am and sir. I remember as a kid that when I would hear adults tell my mom and dad that your boys are very polite and all that, like a sense of pride built up in me. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget those feelings of when they were told that your boys are so respectful and all that. Like I took pride in that even as a kid. Like I liked that, and so I would definitely. I would request sit down with a teacher to find out more of it, because obviously there's something there, and I would try to find something to work out. And if the teacher was adamant against it, this would be a teaching moment of teaching my child that in this type of a setting and that thing, that if this teacher doesn't want that, you want to respect them. Whether or not I agree with it or not, I want to teach my kid how to be respectful back as well. And if that is what that teacher doesn't see that way, that child is a child and that's the teacher. They need to respect elders and all that. And whether or not I agree with it or not, would I want my kid in that teacher's class next year? No. I mean, but I'm not going to do that in front of my kid.
Right. And I think that was the case here. The parents requested that the child be moved, and they were. And then that's the end of it, I guess. It's just odd.
It's odd to me. I mean, it would be much more odd to me if I wouldn't have the situations like that lady asking. And me, that was the first time I really realized the other side, that lady was going through confidence issues on the second 20, like I got it. Like, and I was like, okay, I've never gotten that before, but ma'am and sir is what I say. Yeah. I think respect is
I think the only time I've ever gotten that was when I met my girlfriend's stepmom. I said, hi, Miss Muir. And she said, oh God, call me Leslie. That's totally different, though. Yes. Yeah, that's very much like, okay, no, we're closer than ma'am. That's the different thing. Never once have I gotten somebody to be, excuse me, please step off. Don't
like
call
I'm offended.
Me. Yeah, like what? But I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing is, even the lady who told me that, she wasn't offended by it. She was just like, oh, please don't do that. You make me. You know what I mean? It's not like she was appalled.
It was a different reason.
Yes. Yeah. She wasn't appalled. She wasn't offended. We get offended over way too much these days.
Right.
We get way too offended over all kinds of stuff in today's world. We're way too sensitive. Mm-hmm. Big time.
Political correctness gone too far again.
If this is a case of a teacher saying, hey, you're not listening to my instructions, I asked you not to say that, you keep doing it, I get that. But there's probably a better teaching moment to build around than like a word that arguably isn't a big problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There's a lot of ways to go with it, and it can be done. I think I believe that overall, in general, you can never be too respectful. Mm-hmm. And I think respectfulness is extremely sexy. I do.
Sure.
I mean, I've never. That person's way too respectful. I just can't. And I hope my kid will know respect, and will understand respectfulness, and know the time to stand up, the time to not, the time to be respectful. And she's. How my kid's gonna know that? Because she's gonna watch how I treat her mama. My Brighton is gonna make dang. I'm gonna make dang sure she ain't ever gonna have no 2-bit laid out lazy guy that's disrespectful, because she'll never put up with it, because all she's going to see is the way I treat her mother.
She's never going to want that guy from the other side of the tracks.
No.
To quote John Mayer, fathers, be good to your daughters.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect waylay to the third segment of Second Shot, coming back up in a minute.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Keith Oakes still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
So in case everybody's listening, I want to shame everybody. Go leave a rating. Go leave a review. I have to ask you all the time. You listen. And we need the reviews. It lifts it up to where other people do. If you find this useful and helpful, which we get the feedback that it is, then ratings and reviews do nothing but move it up.
Yeah.
And to make it where more people can find it and get the benefit out of it that you feel like you do. Second Shot is our Facebook group. Aaron, you go join it. It's Second Shooters community where people can, ask for things. I mean, it's been a really great group. Like, it's a lot of good inspiration being shared.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And a good community. Because the people who listen to this podcast, Aaron, it's like-minded people that are wanting to be better, that are positive, that are that are wanting something more. Mm-hmm. And so to be a part of that kind of community there, it's been super cool so far to watch.
Awesome.
When people post something and how everybody kind of comes to, encouraging. And it's just, it's been really, I wish I would have listened. This is, this. I wish I'd listened to my wife earlier. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you've got a couple of those too. Because she told me a long time ago to do it. And I didn't forever because I was being a stubborn man.
Yeah.
And I finally gave in, and I love it. I'm absolutely loving
really
hearing people's stories and stuff like that. It's really great. And so the Second Shot group, and then secondshotcast@gmail.com. And if you were one of the 5 a couple episodes back and you got your hats, post a picture, tag us in it, show it to your friends, share the episode so other people can see it. And so, Aaron, typically on third segment, this is when we take listeners' emails or any kind of rating stuff people do and kind of give shout-outs to some of them and kind of talk about their emails. They got questions and things. The last one we wanted you do, every time we have a new guest, we want them on the first one to share their story. So this one we'll kind of go through some of them. And Zach, I'll let you start off with some of the emails we got.
We got a bunch. Let's be clear. We're sitting on 6 of these things, so we're going to kind of rapid fire these because we don't have that much time left. So let me get right into them. These are some of the hat winners. I want to read their name and what they said. Jeff Rouleau, who also provided the last article we just talked about in our previous segment. This was his hat email, and he said, "I love Zach," and that was it. Also sent from my iPhone in the content thing. Didn't even bother to get rid of that. So thanks, Jeff. I love me too. Second, Brenda Walker, friend of the show, said, "Hope I am one of the 5. I want a hat." Well, she's got one on her way.
Yep.
So that's pretty neat. Next, we had Jennifer Richards said, "Hey guys, love listening to you guys every week. I'm very thankful for the extra leadership from you, Heath, along my Colonial Life career. I'd love to hear some ideas on keeping up with managing a great positive social presence." Ooh, social media. "I'm just getting into the Instagram world and it as well as keeping up with Facebook. You and Jenny are so positive out there. Thank you for all you do. Have a blessed weekend, Jennifer." I got one more. Any advice on social media? I think might be good for this.
Look up Tiffany Hendra. She just released this thing called Rock the Camera.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's amazing. It's an online seminar just helping people in, it's everyone needs to build the skills of being on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I guess
especially
that's what
in
she's
today's
talking
world.
about, right?
Yeah.
Well, and she's talking about building a social media presence in general, too, I think, as well. I think it's coupled with that as well.
Exactly.
And you tell me, I have a feeling you tell me what you think. When I tell people what the social media stuff is, you don't build a social media presence because people tell you to build a social media presence. You build a social media presence because you have a cause, you have a feeling, you have a why that in return you go, I need to build this outlet to get that out.
Right.
If you try to force a square peg into a round hole and doing something because people say you're going to do is post your boring crap, regimen stuff that nobody's ever going to, you've got to have a why and a passion that drives you to social media, not the other way around. There's a lot of people these days, and Tiffany we'll talk about this, she talks about a lot on her camera stuff, is like, look, you don't do something that's not genuine, right? Like you don't, if you want to build your training business, okay, don't do videos about movies that you watch. Right. You do it about training that you're passionate about, that you're whatever, and you're always going to find the people that you need to find, that you need to attract. Would you agree?
Totally, yeah. You have to know your why.
Yeah.
There has to be a purpose. It has to be something that solves a problem in people's life. Otherwise, why are they going to be interested in it?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So.
And Jennifer, so in the clothing world, let's just say, like my passion is careers, and I love giving people the opportunity of careers of good, honest leadership to get that career. So I post a lot about people's careers and all those things because that's what I want to attract is for people that are looking for that to go to it. So whatever, maybe Jennifer, yours is helping people with our insurance products, with the cancer and critical illness and life insurance, and you have the stories when those checks have came to people in their hard times. Post about them, post about related stuff with that. Whatever that why is, then figure out the outlet to go with it. So know your why first, and the social media give you the outlets for those stories. Don't do something that you're not already involved in and passionate about.
Yeah, and be authentic. Just be
authentic.
you.
That's what. Then
otherwise, people are turned off.
You'll never build it not being authentic.
Next up, Preston Richards, who I think has also written us before. Thanks, Preston. My name is Preston Richards, and I was listening to your podcast. You'd asked what the next one should cover. Well, as of right now, I'm a senior at Crowley High School, turning 17 on August 30th, so we just turned 17, I guess. Congrats.
We got a lot of like teenage kids and stuff, boys and girls that listen, which is really cool.
Awesome.
Nickels worth of free advice, Preston. Don't do anything dumb. It's just not. I mean, a few dumb things, right? But nothing like big dumb. Anyway, I plan to major in computer science, but specialize in mobile web development. UT Dallas is the college I'm currently applying for after my SAT this October. Here for advice on how I can reach my goal on being a freelance web developer, whether it be mobile optimization or data set for server programming. I can get there. I'm willing. I just don't know what yet to start with. Should I move in the revolution of mobile compute technology or head in another direction for IT maintenance? He's at a crossroads. He knows he wants to do something. He doesn't know which way to go. And I guess I have a little bit of advice as far as like, I think because web and IT is something I kind of used to do, but I'm curious to see what you think first as far as pursuing a career.
What is yours?
You don't know. Well, I did IT specialist stuff, but I got friends who are in web, and immediately if I had to go with one or the other, both are great. Getting into computers, great in 2018. It's good business. Everybody's on computers. I hate to say you might want to go for like mobile compute technology, but like, man, mobile web developers are huge right now, at least in Dallas. There's a lot of jobs.
Yeah, I say get involved in blockchain.
There you
I think
go.
blockchain is going to change the world.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
I got friends in blockchain.
Crypto, blockchain.
Yeah, they're big on it. What do you think?
Here's it's all kind of in the IT world, and this is this would be, Zach, you help me out here. This is the college ignorance, okay?
No, go ahead.
But my understanding is for 2 years in college is really the basics before you pick what area you're going to go to. Is that right?
For the most part.
For the most part,
yeah,
okay.
Unless you're going to a special school.
So does he kind of got 2 years to...
A little bit, probably.
School-wise with that?
Probably,
yeah. Because they're both in the IT world, so I would assume if there's some special classes, IT in general will help both of those majors or something, right?
And at the very least, you're going to have to knock out like computer science 1 unless you tested out of it. So no matter what, your freshman year, I'd say, easy. You could pivot. You could do that whole year going one way and go, you know what, I want to go this way instead. So you got options.
So here's what I would do if I'm him.
Yeah.
Doing that part of college, right, that you're going to, and then it's the two different field. What are the two different industries?
IT maintenance, which is going to be IT support, or mobile compute technology, which I assume is like mobile development, making apps for phones and stuff.
Wherever you're going to college or at, you look for a company that does each of those industries close to that school, okay? You go write you up a resume. You're 17, may not have much at all. Just have something down to have contact info. You go walk into both of those places and say, hey, can I work here for 10, 15 hours a week for free?
Ooh.
Can I come in there for 10, 15 hours a week for free, help y'all with everything you can to where I can just gain a little bit of knowledge about what you do? I will work for free, 15 hours a week, whatever, if I can just kind of be around, and I'll do all your paperwork, all your unnecessary stuff, if I can just be around so I can grasp some knowledge and do it. I would do 10, 15 hours of work if it takes it for being for free. I'd find 2 companies in those deals. So for the next year, if I did that, you're going to know next year which you really like the most. Because I truly believe until you get in it and do it, you're not really going to know which one you're going to love the most. So if it was me,
it's good advice.
I would find a place. Somebody's going to let you work for free. Mm-hmm. The first place may not, but there will be somebody somewhere that will let you come in and do busy work for free and get to be around and see how that actually operates. And my opinion, that's how you'll know the best way of which route to go.
Right. There's plenty of reasons to not do that you can make up. Like, well, labor laws. And what if I get injured? The company will have to pay for me. They won't let me work for free. I have to get college credit. It's a law. like somewhere somebody will do it. Yeah, and you'll learn
Yeah,
more.
because
It's like
you're
you
not
said,
getting paid
creating-
anything. You have no contract, nothing, so you're not liable for anything. You're just like a person there on the deal. So
Right.
somebody will let you hang and it may just be being out in the front, but you're going to catch a glimpse of and hear stuff that's going to be better than not doing it.
Right.
So-
you got to create your own opportunity
And look, if you do a really good job for free, sooner or later they're going to pay you.
sooner or later.
Okay, and look, you're in a spot. This is built. This is what we talk about.
Yeah.
This is building your deal. You're not entitled to get anything. This is where you got to put your grunt work in. This is where you got to pave your road.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. If it was me, that's what I would do.
Thanks for writing in, Preston.
Yep.
Keep us posted. Let us know how it goes.
Yep.
Next up.
All right, next up, Jamie Wolf, friend of the show. Hi, Second Shotcast. My name is Jamie Wolf. I absolutely love the podcast. Give me a lot of different perspectives on how to think about situations I find myself in. I've been a listener since episode 3 when Chad went live and I saw it on Facebook. I've never reached out to a group like you all, but finally felt inclined to do so after getting so much positive feedback in the Facebook group. Thank you, Jamie. I'm glad you're liking the Facebook group. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to know how I can get my hands on some Second Shot gear. I'm sure I'm not one of the 5, but possibly order a hat. Thank you for helping me challenge myself to be better every day. Sincerely, Jamie Wolf.
Jamie, thanks for the opportunity for a shameless plug for Second Shot Gear.
Yes.
And thanks for writing in. We appreciate that you want some.
I'll figure out a way, Jamie.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get back to you.
Yes.
We'll keep you posted. How about that? Yeah.
Next up is Ken Hansen. His title is Rolling the Dice. Good morning, guys. I used to listen to the podcast every Friday on my drive home from work.
Used to.
Yep. I recently changed my habit in order to start my week with positivity and listen Monday mornings instead.
Nice.
Now you throw out a first 5 challenge, question mark, because they came out.
Right.
That's okay. I still want to try to get my hat to help support the show, so I'm rolling the dice and emailing in 3 days later. You know, I'm going to give you both just because you went for it. You know what we talked about what episode back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to just throw it out there. You know, it's like you never know if you're going to get it if you don't go for it, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
just because you 2 went for it, I'm going to get you a hat. Now, everybody else listening, if I get 10 more going for it, well, you already passed the going for it
Right.
part, okay?
You missed the lesson, but for
but
these
Ken
folks,
and Jamie, you're going to get it because you went for it.
yeah, you acknowledge that, like, I'm probably not gonna, but you know what? I'm gonna write it anyway. We'll see how it goes, and it worked out, guys. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to get it and go for it. And you know, one thing, too, that I want to Second Shot Group, secondshotcast@gmail.com. Send it all our way. And one thing, too, like one of Aaron's current songs, that song has got to be a hit. You know what I'm talking about. Because
Alive?
it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's hands down. It's
Thanks, man.
y'all got to go on the list. Look up Aaron Hendra, the live song.
Yeah. What's the name of this?
It's
How can we
called
find it?
It's called Alive.
Okay.
If you Google my name, Aaron Hendra, and Alive,
Is it on the new album?
There's a video. Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on my one and only album. The album's called October Song. The song's called Alive. And there's a
October
video.
song. Go download it.
Yeah.
Go download the album.
Yeah, video clip on YouTube. Alive.
The Alive song.
Yeah.
He wrote it for his wife.
Aw.
And like I just met Aaron, I think like a week or 2 before we were getting married. Maybe it was real close to us getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'd have known him earlier, that would have been our first dance song. Like I
Oh,
love it.
really?
I'm being dead serious. I'm not
Thank
really.
you.
I'm not trying to feel. I'm being honest.
I gotta check this song
It's really
out.
one of my all-time favorite. I'm a mushy guy. Like I'm you know, as we call it, titty baby. You know, I ain't scared of it. I'll cry at the drop of a hat, especially
Sure.
now. And I like, you know, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
In tune with your emotions.
The
Good
Alive
for you.
song is phenomenal.
Well,
it really,
thank
really
you.
is.
While you're talking about being mushy, I want to let people know they should email us Second Shotcast. He's playing a tough game. If you email us with like a headline and good stuff, you'll probably get a shirt or something. It's fine. It's fine. We'll work it out. It's fine. It's great.
See, look at Zach always just throwing me out there like that.
Well, I
just
mean,
kidding.
I'm not the one who called you.
I'm
What
just-
was that?
yeah.
What was that term?
I'm a titty baby.
Titty baby. That's
I
right.
didn't know people didn't know what a titty baby was.
No, that's news to
That-
me.
that's
I'm
def-
well familiar with that term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that must be a really redneck thing.
That's
Yeah, it
that
is.
East Texas.
Yeah.
Come up.
Yeah. So, Zach, where can they find you?
You can find me on our Facebook groups, facebook.com/group/Second Shot, I think is the official URL. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram @AppleZacintosh. Throw me a follow, and I will follow you as well, I guess.
Aaron?
Yeah.
AaronHendra.com and Aaron Hendra Facebook,
and
YouTube,
the album?
Instagram. It's called October Song on iTunes.
And get it on iTunes?
Yeah.
Yep. Go look it up. Go download his album. And the Alive song is one of my favorite. I mean, it's really in one of my top favorite songs of all time.
Thank
Oh,
you.
no,
man.
no
Thank
kidding.
you so much.
Ed Heath Oaks at Ignorance on Fire. I love you as always, and thank you, and see you next time.
to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.